If your phone owns you, your leadership isn't your own. Let that sit in for a moment. For many leaders today, it's not just true, it's the reality shaping their every decision. I'm not talking about being busy, I'm talking about being tethered. When I run workshops for school leaders, I often start with a small request or challenge. I ask everyone to turn their phones off. Not on silent, not face down on the desk, off. Completely. But I reassure them, don't worry, we'll turn them back on at morning tea. Every time the sequence is the same. A few nervous laughs, wondering if I really meant it, and then someone checks the clock, how long until morning tea, and one or two people quickly send messages, I'll be out of contact for the next hour. And then the buzzing stops. What happens next is almost magical. Shoulders drop, people start looking at each other, conversations deepen. It's as if the air pressure in the room has changed. And at that moment, we've uncovered the problem. Most of us didn't realize how loud the noise was until it stopped. And in the professional wellness program, we call this the emotional tsunami. It's the constant flood of other people's urgency, emotions, and expectations, and it crashes into your mental space all day, every day. Now, when you're always on, you're not choosing what gets your attention. Everyone else is. Your time is no longer your own. Your priorities are no longer your own, and your mental clarity is constantly fragmented. And if you can't switch off, you can't lead with perspective. Now, here's the science behind it. Firstly, attention residue. Sophia Leroy's research in 2009 proved that when you switch tasks, even briefly, part of your mind stays stuck to the last task, and that's attention residue. If you check a quick message mid-task, your brain carries that residue into what you were going to do next. Multiply that by dozens of quick checks a day, and your leadership thinking is like trying to run underwater. The next is physiological load. Now, neuroscientists like Bruce McEwen and Robert Sapolsky have mapped out what happens when cortisol, the stress hormone, stays high for too long. Chronic digital connection keeps that system activated, and over time, this erodes memory, slows decision-making, and makes it harder to regulate emotions. The very things leaders rely on. The third is burnout risk, and Christina Maslach's burnout model shows that exhaustion is the first crack in the system. And without getting genuine downtime, emotional exhaustion sets in faster, and with it comes cynicism, withdrawal, and poor judgment. Now, this isn't weakness, it's biology, and you can't outwork it. If you can't step away, you can't step up. And here's why this hits leaders harder. Leadership demands judgment, perspective, and presence, and those only thrive in periods of deep focus and genuine recovery. When your evenings, weekends, and even family time are interrupted by just one quick email, you're not recharging, you're staying on call. The ACU Principal Health and Wellbeing Survey shows that principals in Australia are experiencing record high levels of always-on stress load, with spikes in after-hours communication demands and a decline in psychological detachment. Now, those leaders report significantly higher fatigue, lower job satisfaction, and a reduced capacity for strategic thinking. Now, to move from always on to strategically on, we strengthen two dimensions of professional wellness. First, sustainable practices, building rhythms that give you real-time off and protect your energy cycles. Not random recovery, but deliberate and regular restoration. And the second is resilience and adaptability, which is the ability to engage fully when it matters and disengage fully when it doesn't. This isn't about being less committed, it's about protecting the fuel that makes your commitment possible. Now, let me tell you about Emma, and that's not her real name, but a principal of a large secondary school. And she told me, Lee, I'm answering emails at 10 p.m. so I don't drown at 8 a.m. We didn't start with cutting back her email. We started with boundaries that fit her role and context. Availability windows. Her team knew exactly when they could get a quick response and when she was in deep work. Protected thinking time. 2 90-minute blocks a week. Phone in the other room. Admin gatekeeping the interruptions. And a shutdown ritual. At 5:15, she wrote one-line intention for tomorrow on a post-it note, closed her laptop, put the note on top, and then put her phone in a drawer for 90 minutes. 3 weeks later, she told me, I'm making better calls because I'm actually thinking again. That's sustainable practices and resilience working together. Now, boundaries aren't a sign you care less, they're what allow you to care more. And here's the thing, interruptions have always existed, but your phone is different. It's a standing invitation to be interrupted. This is really interesting. Studies show that the mere presence of your own smartphone, even face down and silent, reduces available cognitive capacity. Your brain allocates energy to not checking it and to recognizing that it's there. That's why you feel mentally drained after a day of having it beside you. And those just a quick check before bed moments? Research shows that work-related smartphone use at night reduces your ability to mentally detach from work. That's linked to poorer sleep, higher next-day fatigue, and lower emotional regulation. Recovery isn't an indulgence, it's leadership infrastructure. So, here's your 3-part reset. 1. Design the off switch. Move the phone out of sight in deep work or meetings. Out of the room beats face down and on the desk. Create micro sabbaticals, short blocks each day with no notifications or buzzing at all. And use a shutdown ritual. Last scan, one intention for tomorrow on a post-it note, and then put your phone away. 2. Renegotiate reachability. Publish your availability windows. Have one clear urgent channel, not 5, and use a response of message received without instantly fixing issues. 3. Recover like it's your job. Protect evenings from work talk and screens. Add mastery or relaxation activities weekly. The research shows these improve focus and resilience. Now, let's go back to the workshop. Morning tea arrives, we turn the phones back on, buzzing, pings, missed calls, couple of faces tense up, and then someone says, "Here we go." But then we look at what came in. Most could wait. The urgent items? Someone else had already handled them, or they could have been solved in minutes. And the lesson? The cost of constant reachability isn't just time, it's the loss of the clear strategic mind you lead with. This week, try the workshop experiment. First meeting of the day, phones out of the room. Tell everybody why you're doing it, but put your phones out of the room. And then notice how the conversation changes. Afterwards, have a conversation around it and choose one boundary to keep. Either phone out of sight during deep work, clear availability windows, or 90-minute evening device pause. Tell your team why you're doing it. Leaders don't just set boundaries, they normalize them. And if you want to lead at your best, you can't be owned by your phone. Now, if you'd like to explore how the Professional Wellness Program can help your leadership team embed these practices, book an exploration session or message me to explore the possibilities.